Hi there and welcome to this very special show from the White House in Washington, D.C. St. Patrick's Day is far more than just a day here. In fact, the celebrations continue throughout the month of March. We'll take you with us to experience all the best bits as Washington goes green for St. Patrick's Day. The bilateral meeting at the White House is the centre point of the St. Patrick's Day visit every year. It is, of course, a chance for the two leaders to discuss some serious topics, but there's also plenty of fun to be had as the White House gets into the St. Patrick's Day spirit.
We always like an excuse to celebrate our Irish heritage and, more importantly, to once again affirm the incredible friendship and partnership that we have with Ireland.
This year's meeting was especially significant for Barack Obama and Taoiseach Enda Kenny, as it's the last time the two will meet as leaders of their respective countries.
There was just an election in Ireland, and we live at a time when there's a lot of volatility in the electoral process. But the one thing that is constant is the importance of us continuing to trade, continuing to encourage investment and to boost jobs and opportunity in our respective countries. And we had a chance to discuss immigration, an issue that is near and dear to the hearts of the Irish people because they understand how important it's been for Irish Americans, and it has given them a sense of compassion and sympathy and understanding about these issues generally. And I indicated to the Taoiseach that we are going to continue to work as hard as we can to find opportunities to make sure that the United States of America continues to be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. And we very much appreciate his insights in this. So overall, it's been an outstanding discussion as always. We're going to have an opportunity to go over to the luncheon hosted by Speaker Ryan, and I'm sure enjoy some good music as well as some good food. And then this afternoon we'll have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day reception. I'm pretty sure that the fountain is green out there, and Michelle and the girls all appreciate so much the travels they've had in Ireland. We're always glad to reciprocate to the Taoiseach, the delegation, and all our friends from across the Atlantic.
We had a conversation about the referendum in respect of Britain and its position with the European Union. We favour very strongly Britain remaining a central member, and I think the President was interested in the challenges that Prime Minister Cameron faces, both internally and externally, and I've given him an account of the workings of the European Council in bringing about the proposition that Prime Minister Cameron could actually put a referendum to his people. We've had a delightful breakfast hosted by the Vice President this morning, and we're very happy to be back here in America and to continue the connections that go back for several centuries now between our two countries. And we will work with you and express the hope that the United States will continue to look at Ireland in a way that cements those foundations that are there for very many years.
After the meeting in the Oval Office, the Taoiseach and President Obama head straight to Capitol Hill for a special St. Patrick's Day lunch hosted by US House Speaker Paul Ryan, a proud Irish American. President Obama used the occasion to comment on this year's US presidential race and urge politicians to work together.
When we leave this lunch, I think we have a choice. We can condone this race to the bottom or accept it as the way things are and sink further, or we can roundly reject this kind of behavior, whether we see it in the other party or, more importantly, when we see it in our own party, and set a better example for our children and the rest of the country to follow.
Taoiseach Enda Kenny used his star status at the lunch to press some serious issues, in particular immigration.
As you know, John Boehner, Paul did all of this stuff here for the last number of years, and he used to say when he'd speak, well, I'm going to get rolled again about immigration today, am I? So I might as well to mention it now. So that has now passed on to your desk and will be a matter for the next administration. So look out. I commend President Obama for what he did in terms of the executive authority that he has. Obviously, there are matters of court there, but this is an issue for us, Paul, as you're well aware, and as an Irish American with strong roots in Graiguenamanagh. What we're going to do is get all of those who have emigrated from that 20-mile radius of Graiguenamanagh and send them down here to you so that you'll see them. And we want them to be documented, and we want them to be able to play their part for the country, of where they now live as law-abiding citizens, and we want them to be able to participate fully in American society. Obviously, it's a situation that I've often referred to in the words of the American national anthem, "The land of the free and the home of the brave." That's where they want to be able to contribute. And because of, I suppose, politics at the end of the day, on the broader scale, not just the Irish, this is an issue that needs to be dealt with. We have similar problems now with migration on a vast scale coming into Europe. And this is causing political challenges for many countries. And as I say, it's a case of leadership at the end of the day being able to bring about a result here. So you know yourselves the contribution that has been made by Irish over the centuries to the United States, and the success of the recent film Brooklyn, based on the novel by Colm Tóibín, shows how strongly the immigrant experience continues to resonate with a modern audience. This year there were 9 nominations for Oscars from Ireland, which speaks, if you like, of the continuing creativity that our young people have. So as a small Irish nation, obviously those who have travelled and those who are here in the United States want to be part of the greater community in full legitimacy, whether it be Boston, Chicago, San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Toronto, or wherever. If they come to America, they like to do that. Other countries, Australia, Britain, and Europe in the same way. This year, as you know, marks the 100th anniversary of the 1916 Rising, which was a seminal moment in the history of Ireland, which set the country on a path which ultimately led to economic and political independence. This could not have happened without the support of the United States of America. The proclamation, which was read by Pádraig Pearse outside the steps of the General Post Office on Easter Monday 1916, speaks specifically of the support of our, as he called it, our exiled children in America. Those exiled children, many of them, their descendants are here in this room, provided the crucial support to ensure that Irish independence, for so long a dream, finally became a reality. Now, I want you to understand that we want this to be a very inclusive, comprehensive, sensitive experience for everybody. And in that sense, the program that has been put out has been couched in that manner, to take into account the contribution or the involvement of everybody, irrespective of their religion, of their creed, of their politics, or where they came from.
These events are always very important, just symbolically, that the fact that a small island like ours can have access at this level, and people have talked about this for a long time. It's quite remarkable. The President took an unprecedented step to talk about domestic politics. I'm coming here now for over 20 years, and that's the first time that's happened, and I suppose it's a mark of his concern about the atmosphere, the very negative atmosphere that permeates some of the debates that are ongoing here.
In the evening, it's back to the White House for the St. Patrick's Day reception. The guest list was a who's who of Irish and Irish Americans in DC, and there were plenty of toasts and plenty of tributes to Ireland.
For the Irish, home is everywhere, and perhaps no other country in the world is more everywhere than the United States. We are braided together in so many ways, America and Ireland. We've been for centuries through history and bloodline. We've waged war side by side. We've waged peace side by side. We are family and we are friends. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the 1916 proclamation, and I'm struck with how ahead of its time the proclamation was. It was a daring document, one which its authors were very particular to address to Irish men and Irish women. It's built around religious and civil liberty. equal rights and equal opportunities, and cherishing all the children of the nation equally. Cherishing all the children of the world, of the nation equally. That's a vision statement 100 years ago, and it would be a visionary statement today. It's a universal value, like the ones in America's own founding documents, that compels us to continually look forward, that gives us the chance to change, that dares us, American and Irish alike, to keep toiling towards our better selves.
And of course, no St. Patrick's Day celebration in DC is complete without the traditional bowl of shamrock.
And so now it is my pleasure and my privilege, on behalf of the people of our country and the 70 million Irish people all over the world, to present this bowl of shamrock, tried and tested, to President of the United States, Barack Obama. Thank you all very much.